All right, guys, we are on Big Brother Canada, season 10, episode 22. And all I can say is this episode was one monumental display of stupidity. As you know, Marty won HOH. He put up Josh. He put up Josh and Betty on the block. And of course, we got the POV this week. Josh and Betty's pretty fired up. They're pretty against Marty, and they're thinking if one of them comes off the block, there's a chance that they can both stay, which is very likely because Kevin and Helena can flip at any time. Marty, for some reason, believes that Helena is his number one, which doesn't make sense to me. But I guess he has no one else that is tight with him because he's working with a bunch of couples. And Helena is just using Marty, and Kevin is her number one. I mean, I can't be mad at him because he's kind of just, he's kind of on his own, and he's made, I can't say he made bad decisions. He made good decisions, but he's burned bridges on the way to doing it. But I mean, it's his first time playing the game. There's a lot of pressure, and he kind of folded a lot. I've actually learned that Kevin is actually 6'1". I thought he was 5'9". This man constantly walks around like a gremlin, hunched over to the point I actually thought he was shorter than many people, but he's one of the tallest people in the house. And he has a girlfriend. I would never have guessed that. I wouldn't I wouldn't like to see what she looks like, to be honest with you. Oh boy. Yeah. So let's go ahead and get to the POV competition. All right. There we go. POV competition looks like this. All right. You see right there, put my head up here. All of them are going to be in this little grave thing here. I think the ones playing are going to be Gino, Josh, Summer, and Betty, Betty and Kevin. So I believe JC Lynn is going to be hosting, and Helena and Kevin are going to be sitting out. All right. They have to lay in this coffin thing for 100 minutes. So they pretty much have to count in their head for 100 minutes. And then they have to press, there's a little buzzer on the side. They have to press the buzzer when they think there's 100 minutes. And the closest person to 100 minutes wins. All right. During the competition, the coffin is going to fill up with water. Then after the water, I believe then there are going to be a bunch of messages from their loved ones playing on the speaker. I think Kevin, so I learned Kevin has a girlfriend. His girlfriend talks to him. Betty got a little call from her boyfriend, I think. And Summer got a call from her mom, Josh from his boyfriend, and Gino from his sister. All right, and that's the basics of that competition. In case you're wondering how it went, Summer was the worst. She did 59 minutes. 59 out of 100 minutes. They had to count to 100 minutes, and she did 59. I believe there was other distractions as well that I didn't mention. At certain points, they had to pour in like fake guts and organs into the pool of water. Then they also had mealworms just crawling all over their body as well. So very distracting stuff. The two people freaking out the most was, of course, Summer and Betty. Kevin was laughing a lot. Gino was very cool during the whole thing. Josh freaked out a little bit when the mealworms showed up, but otherwise he was fine. And the second worst turns out to be Kevin. He did 125 minutes. He had a great strategy. He was going to count the minutes with one hand and every 10 minutes with the other hand. Good strategy, keeps track of the numbers. But for some reason, he was the last one to press his buzzer and the one most off, which leaves Gino and Josh and Betty for the win. And Betty won. And I gotta say, she's been performing lately, and I gotta give her flowers. She almost won the HOH, and now she won the veto, taking herself off the block. Fantastic stuff. The unfortunate thing is Summer is safe, can't be voted out, which makes no sense to me. She's trash. Get rid of her. Get rid of her. Tired of her being in this game. And she's probably going to go far because she's weak and she's just going to get carried. It's annoying. I don't think the only person left that's never been on the block, I believe, is Helena. So she has that up her sleeve. As far as Summer, she's been on the block recently, and that was her first time. She doesn't have any accolades to her name at all. Not one bit. So the closest to was Betty and Josh, the two people that are on the block. They were 4 minutes apart. And get this, Betty did 100 minutes exactly and 42 seconds. And she was freaking out the whole time. Shocked the hell out of me. Well done. Well goddamn done. I expected her to be bad under pressure, and she pulled out the win. Respect. 100% respect. That is freaking good gameplay. And Josh was 104 minutes, and Gino was 109 minutes. So even if Betty didn't make it, Josh would have made it. Those two, one of them were going to come off the block. All right. Then we go to now Marty has to choose a replacement. His choices are between Helena, Gino, JC Lynn, and Kevin. He's deliberating. He's thinking to himself, Kevin is really close to Josh. Probably got to get, probably going to have to put him up so that I secure my vote, secure that Josh goes home. And he's just deciding between them, and his closest person. Before that, Kevin had a mission from a secret mission from Marsha, the Moose. Hold on, let's see if I can get a. Okay, there we go. There's Moose. All right, he had a secret mission from Marsha the Moose. He had to convince the entire house that he's going to self-evict, and he was able to do it, which to me, Marty should have used that as a good opportunity to see that Kevin is actually a very good liar, and you can be able to tell his tells, because Kevin overacts. He does extra when he's lying, which is something he should have clocked, but he didn't. Because when it came to putting someone up on the block, Gino convinced him that it's better to put up Kevin because him and JC Lynn not going to vote, are going to vote Josh out. And Kevin is actually close with Josh. Yeah, which good move. Actually, exactly correct, because Josh also wants to get out the showmances, and it would be a good move for them. But actually, you know what? JC Lynn and Gino was actually trying to work with Josh and Betty before. So I don't know how exact that would be, but I think they most likely would vote out Josh instead of Kevin. But I would have voted out Kevin, to be honest with you. But no, that would be stupid, because Josh would be coming after them. Kevin probably still coming after them, probably also coming after them, but he's not that as big of a threat as Josh. Right. So Kevin, so Marty talks to Helena, because that's his closest ally, to figure out who he should put on the block. He's telling her he's thinking about putting up Kevin. Of course, Helena immediately starts fighting hard for Kevin, which should be a sign that they're actually very close in this game. Right over his head. Then, after he talks to Helena, Kevin comes up to the HOH room and starts fighting for his life. He's making promises. He told everybody in the house he's married. He's not married. He wears a fake wedding band on his hand. He's promising. He's building a bond with Marty based on them being the two married guys in the house, and and he's promising to give him his wedding band. He's promising to go out in the house and yell and tell everybody that Kevin is his number one, making all kinds of over promises, which should be a tell. If you saw him convince the whole house he's going to self-evict, you should already clock what it looks like when he's lying. Over his head again. Doesn't notice. So because he got both pressure from Kevin and from Helena, he believed Kevin, and it's mainly because of Helena's influence, and he didn't really know where to go with that. So he decided to do one of the stupidest things I've ever seen. He called all of them up and he said, final five, their alliance haven't been named, but he wanted to make sure they all know that they're going to stick together and let all of them make promises that they're going to stick together. And then this man, he got them all up in the HOH room right there in the back, made them all promise that they're going to stick together. Then he got a little thing, a can, put a bunch of gummy bears in it. He put 3 gummy bears at first. Then he asked Gino if he doesn't want to put him up, but if he decides to, he can put an extra gummy bear just to make it fair. And Gino said, yeah, go ahead, put an extra gummy bear in there. So 4 gummy bears. The person that picks up the red gummy bear is going to go up on the block, and that is his plan. That's his plan. So he passed the can around. They picked gummy bears, and Gino picked the red one. So now he's going to put Gino up on the block, and immediately Kevin is excited. He made a bunch of promises in the room. He's like, he doesn't care. He came to play this game to make moves and betray people, which is something he said from day one. And Marty just freaking handed it to him on a silver platter. Because if he gets rid of Gino, he's good. He got an alliance with Josh, who would prove himself to Josh, and Betty basically going to be on hand, and Marty is going to be enemy number 1, and the only person that can save him is possibly Gino and Jason Lynn. You see where I'm going with this? Because he can't play in the next HOH. So if they get rid of Gino, that would mean that they have a likely chance that the next person to win HOH is going to get rid of Marty, which would put them in a perfect spot where big competitors are getting taken out, and they're going to be competing. Most likely, they're going to come down the line, and it's going to be Helena, Kevin, Summer, and Betty. Josh is probably going to get taken out. Kevin and Marty just set that up. It's so disappointing to see. But you know what? There's a chance that JC Lynn can actually win next HOH, which would be bad for them if they actually betrayed them. But hopefully she can use that as an intimidation tactic to keep them voting the way they said they would. I hate to see good competitors go down the drain. Betty's starting to step it up. They got to get rid of Summer. Betty's starting to step it up. So I don't, well, she's going to be off the block, so I don't have to worry about that. Josh came second again. Every competition, he's just coming second. He's not winning anything. I also don't really want to get rid of him, but I'd rather him go. I'd rather him go because I want Marty to be good. And I want JC Lynn and Gino to be good because those three are killing the game right now. They're competing. They're doing the thing. I want them to be good at this moment. And Betty saved herself. She's coming up there. The ones that can go, Kevin, Helena, and Summer, they can go. But they're the sneakiest players. And it's me hard to take them out because they're good with everyone and no one sees them as a threat. So it's unfortunate, but that's how it goes. Till next time.